All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about modern vendor management today, and we're using Dr. Joginder Singh's book as our guide. And let me tell you, the stakes, they have never, ever been higher. Why? Because the very idea of risk has completely shifted.
Okay, you have to really let this sink in. This Kaseya attack, this is where everything changed. Think about it. One single hack on a company that, let's be honest, most of us had never even heard of. And bam, over 1,500 organizations were just paralyzed. And here's the kicker. None of them even worked with Kaseya directly. They were customers of Kaseya's customers. We're not just talking third-party risk anymore. This was fourth-party risk, blowing a massive hole in a supply chain that frankly nobody was watching.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's simple, but it's huge. Your security, it's only as strong as your weakest vendor's vendor. Seriously. That's why vendor management isn't some dusty back office task anymore. No way, it's front and center. It's a strategic must-do for survival, for growth, for everything.
All right, so to really get a handle on how to deal with this new reality, we've got to look back, see where we came from. Because the way we manage vendors has completely transformed, especially over the last 20 years or so. It's pretty much unfolded in three big stages. First, way back, it was all about tactical purchasing. Super simple, just get the cheapest price. Then, as the world got smaller, we moved into supply chain management. And now we're in a whole new ballgame. It's strategic vendor ecosystem management. Sounds fancy, but it just means we're focused on the big picture: risk, resilience, and actually creating value. And this slide just nails the difference. The question we used to ask was dead simple. How cheap can we get this? That was it. But now the question is way bigger. How do we build an entire ecosystem of vendors that actually gives us an edge over the competition? It's not just a different question, it's a completely different universe of thinking. But, making that leap is tough. It's really tough. I mean, companies are drowning in vendors, thousands of them. The risks are getting crazier every day. We're talking cyber, geopolitical stuff, ESG, you name it. Your data is all over the place, there's no single view, and the teams trying to manage all this, they're totally swamped. Does any of this sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. These are the challenges basically every modern company is facing right now.
So what's the answer? How do you even begin to untangle this mess? Well, that's where the playbook comes in. The book lays out a super clear, structured framework. Think of it like an operating system for this new, complicated world. Let's dig into the core idea behind it. And this right here is so important. This life cycle thing, it's not just another checklist to tick off. It's a whole philosophy. The big idea is to be consistent and deliberate with every single vendor interaction. The goal, to make sure you're always building up value, not letting it leak away. And just as important, you're learning and getting smarter with every single relationship. And here it is, the playbook itself. 10 phases. It's this complete end-to-end journey. It starts way out the beginning with strategic planning and takes you all the way through to a safe and secure offboarding when the relationship ends. This is how you cover all your bases from start to finish. Okay, now for the million-dollar question, or, well, the multi-million-dollar question that every C-suite exec is going to ask. What's in it for us? What's the ROI, right? So let's talk numbers, because honestly, they speak for themselves.
First up, let's talk about saving money. Companies that get this right, the ones with mature programs, they consistently see an 8 to 12% cost reduction. Now, for a big company, we're talking tens of millions of dollars every single year. That goes straight to the bottom line. But saving money is only part of it. You also have to think about the cost of, well, doing nothing, the cost of getting it wrong. Look at this number. The average cost for a single major incident involving a vendor, think a data breach, a huge outage, is a whopping $7.9 million. Ouch. So what happens when you do get it right? Well, here's the payoff. Organizations with those mature programs we talked about, they have 40% fewer of these crazy expensive incidents. That's not just some fuzzy risk mitigation. That is real, measurable financial armor for your business. So you see, the value here isn't just one thing. It's coming from all sides. Yeah, you're optimizing costs, you're definitely mitigating risk, but you're also getting better performance from your vendors, you're building real strategic partnerships, and you're staying on the right side of all those compliance rules. It really is a massive value driver for the whole organization. Okay, so by now you get it, you see the value, you've seen the framework. So the next question is pretty obvious, right?
Where do you stand? Where is your organization on this journey? Let's start to figure that out.
So, I want you to just pause for a second and be really honest with yourself. Where does your company actually rank? Are you guys just reacting to problems as they pop up? Or are you being proactive, using data to make strategic decisions? You have to know where you are to figure out where you're going. And the book makes this super clear with 5 maturity levels. It starts at initial, which is basically chaos. You're just putting out fires. And it goes all the way up to optimizing, where your vendor program is actually a secret weapon, giving you a competitive edge. The whole point, of course, is to keep climbing that ladder.
And this is where the rubber meets the road, right? Moving up that curve isn't magic. It takes a real plan, a roadmap. And that's exactly where getting some expert help, like from PramaLogic Advisory, can make all the difference. They've got the frameworks and the tools to really speed up that journey for you.
So what are your next steps? It's actually pretty straightforward. 1. Read the book. Get the knowledge. 2. Go to the website and download the free stuff, the templates, the toolkits. 3. Take that self-assessment. Figure out your starting point. And 4. When you're serious about building a top-tier program, you bring in the experts to help you get there.
Which really brings us to the one last critical question you've got to ask yourself. After all of this, the insane risks, the huge rewards, is your vendor management program actually creating value? Or is it just creating a mountain of paperwork? Seriously, think about it, because how you answer that question is going to shape how resilient and competitive your company will be for a long, long time.